Go, Cat.
Presented by Bones Brothers Media.
Laugh it up, world. Laugh it up, Earth. You got what you wanted. America blown off the field by Belgium last night, 4-1. I don't watch a lot of soccer. I've probably watched like from box to wire, maybe 20 games in my entire life. So I'm by no means an aficionado. I have to believe we saw two of the worst goals surrendered in the history of World Cup soccer last night. The Belgium go-ahead goal to make it 2-1, 61 seconds after we scored is shameful. I mean, another piece of evidence that just shows America wasn't ready for the lights of that kind of stage right there. They went to sleep at the wheel after equalizing it. You don't think Belgium's going to come and try to punch you right back? And then the third goal, what's left to say about the third goal? I just said we're on the world's biggest stage. We're hesitant. We're second guessing ourselves against a bunch of rabid, ball hawking, professional European soccer players. What is your worst American soccer nightmare? It couldn't be far off from what happened last night. We only got 2 minutes of drama. We didn't register a shot on goal. We didn't manufacture our own shot on goal until the 80th minute of that game. And the sentiment is also pretty interesting to me also. Our culture is this no participation trophies. Outcomes are everything. Win, win, win. Second place is the first loser. And here we are. One of the most embarrassing efforts in American sports history. Hey, clap it up for the team. They've got great attitudes, great effort, really showcased America nicely. We beat Bosnia. Bosnia-Herzegovina, whose captain is probably living in a mud hut right now, putting his sandals on to go to practice on an old dirty, dusty airstrip that they used for their last civil war. And I can appreciate the process, the effort that went in to getting that opportunity to play in the final 16. But once that opportunity is upon you, once it's given to you, once you've earned it, that's an entirely different set of circumstances. You've got to be your best. And we weren't only mediocre, we were god-awful. We saved our worst game that we could have possibly played for the biggest game of the tournament. So the whole thing, the blowout on the field, the gloating Europeans, the commentary on Fox, I thought was pathetic throughout the tournament that the Americans, the games that I watched, the whole red card fiasco. Fortunately, I'm not a soccer fan because it leaves me feeling a little underwhelmed as the American team closes out their run in the 2026 World Cup. It's the Bones Brothers Sports Show. My name is Edge. Am I wrong to feel that way, Wildman?
No, I think you're right on the money with it. I mean, look, they came into the tournament as the 14th ranked team in the country, or in the world, pardon me. And they went out in the round of 16, you know. It was exactly what happened in 2022 at the previous World Cup. They fell down 2-0 to the Netherlands. They score in like the 79th. The Netherlands come down on the next possession and make it 3-1. There hasn't been a moment where, in my opinion, American soccer has even competed in the knockout stage, as long as I can remember. So, like you said, you get a couple goals and they're just gonzo. But look, Belgium's a better club.
They are. No realistic expectations that America was going to win the World Cup. But perhaps what everybody was saying, I mean, I think it was all hype and hyperbole now, our best opportunity to get into the round of 8. This team has no star. That's what America lacks probably more than anything, right? We don't have a Ronaldo. We don't have a Messi. We don't have a Harry Reid. We don't have a Neymar. And we need one, Bones, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, you've got the biggest star in the World Cup right now, Holland, Erling Haaland for Norway.
That's true. I can't believe
that guy has 7 goals this World Cup. I mean, it's magical to watch. I can't wait to watch the Norway England game. And like you said, I mean, Mexico, they're down 1-3. They showed up and scored again and almost tied it up. They fought for their country in front of them. we gave up. I mean, we got embarrassed. That goalie goal, wherever he did, I don't know what happened there, but it's embarrassing, and I don't want to even want to talk about soccer to anybody. I talked to my buddy Ben Finn in England, and he laughed us off. I mean, he's in England cheering for their team, and they're winning games. So with only 10 guys, by the way, I mean, it was a very disappointing ending, and it looked like the moment was too big for us.
Yeah, it was disappointing to say the least. And as you just mentioned a moment ago, uh, as we started the show, the world got what they wanted here. Everybody was saying you haven't beaten anybody yet. Wait until you get to the round of 16 and you've got to play a top 10 European team who plays a lot of big games. That's the other thing that America doesn't do. They don't play a lot of big games. These Europeans play in giant stadiums on consistent bases in huge games with huge stakes against other professionals. Again, no realistic expectations that America was going to win, but yeah, you'd like to see him put in a better effort. We move on to golf. John Deere last week, giddy up, got her up. Getting another win on the PGA Tour. Max Homa, shout out to Wildman, who put in a few good words about Max Homa last week on the cast. Homa finishes runner-up. The Gim Reaper, I got to give him a shout out, top 6. This week, Blades Brown, top 12. Everybody else we liked kind of finished out of the top 20. A couple big misses on Lebioda and McCarthy. But before we get into the analysis and your thoughts on the John Deere, Zach from WVU, friend of the show, McNeil's boy, won $20,000 this week. He's headed to the King of the Desert tournament. And Wolf Goat, longtime listener and great friend of the show, live competing in the final in Vegas for the Fantasy Golf World Championship. So ups and downs as it has been all year long. Bones DK, your thoughts on the John Deere?
I mean, I'll tell you what, the flag is rising high for the Bones DK family. Zach with a massive win. He won the $12 single entry for $3,000 and also won the $100 single entry, which I was in. And I opened up my app and I just see Zach's name on top. He's a member of our golf league, 23 members. That's our third or fourth hit in our league alone, winning these tournaments. So just unbelievable for our crew. So happy for him. Wolf Goat. I was FaceTiming him on Saturday talking about the tournament, how, he went 5 or 6. It's pretty much all you needed to make the finals. He was like, dude, bet Goddard up to win on Saturday. And I was like, all right, I'm in. Plus 1,400. It's smacked. That was incredible. Wolf Goat is on a tear right now. I met him working with him in Colorado. We started doing DraftKings together, golf, 5 years ago. We had 2 hits together when we worked together. And it's just one of the greatest things I can remember as far as our team, what he's doing right now. I almost like I want to cry for him. I'm so happy for him.
Then do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an incredible moment for Wolf Goat and our team. It's something we need to focus on the next couple of weeks.
He wants to cry for you, Wolf Goat, but he won't actually cry for you. We've talked a lot about got her up on this podcast, Wild Man. Were you surprised that he was able to come from behind? He was the top golfer, highest salary in DraftKings last week. And little segue into our next segment after you answer this, he won at the Genesis last year in Scotland as well. So he's on a little bit of a hot streak with a good trend, and we like that here on the Bones DK Golf Show.
I said it last week. It was curious that he entered this week being the defending champion over in Scotland. But is it surprising? A little bit, to shoot a 62 on Sunday to win. That's pretty shocking. But look, there are 2 guys that have 5 wins on the PGA Tour since July of last year. They're Chris Gotterup and Scotty Scheffler. This guy has arrived. He's the real deal. Stop ignoring him. He's going to win a major pretty soon and probably is on the road to win some more. If you're Wolf Goat, if you're me, if you're Bones DK, if you're Edge, we're getting Tom Hoagie tattoos, boys.
Yeah.
Hoagie shoots a 65 to make the cut for Wolf Goat and get him into the live final. So every one of those birdies that went in, the register was ringing. So awesome stuff for him. And I mean, look, the Bones DK flag will be represented live in the Fantasy Golf World Championship for a Millie, boys.
Absolutely awesome. We're looking forward to that. 50
men
guys,
in that
man.
tournament.
Hey,
50 men for $1 million.
You know what we always say? Believe. believe, and we believe in Wolf Goat right now. There are actually 2 pro golf events this weekend, maybe a third, actually. I'm not sure about the explosive and exciting product that is Live Golf, but there is a PGA ISCO Open with some familiar names we're not going to really talk much about today. The big tournament is in Scotland at the Genesis, the penultimate tournament to the Open Championship, which will take place next week. We just talked about it a moment ago. Got her up one here last year. Loaded field, links style golf, I would imagine, Wild Man, but only a $9 million purse. So how many of these guys are really big names over here treating this more like a practice round versus a competitive tournament? Is that something we should worry about this week?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a lot different than like, you know, leading up to the Masters where you're in Texas and you might want to get over there early to Augusta. It's the real deal, man. It's still $9 million, right? We always say cash is green everywhere we go. And 9 million is still a pretty penny versus some of these signature events, which have these huge purses. But yeah, expect link style golf, expect wind, tons of fescue. So you're going to want one of 2 things, and if you can find both, get them both in there. You're going to want distance off the tee, and you're going to want accuracy off the tee, right? Well, I mean, that's a hot take, right? But you tend to see long hitters and accurate hitters that will show up here and play well. So those are the guys we're looking at.
Which is why I got her up one here last year, generally in the top 10 on tour, sometimes the top 5, depending on the week in driving distance, at least. You look at the $10,000 tier, there's not many guys there this week, Rob, but some big time names: Rahm, McIlroy, Scheffler. Any of them cracking your lineup?
Yeah, I mean, there actually is nobody in the 10K range, ironically enough. You have Scotty Scheffler starting at 14,000. We talked, Wildman said it. I mean, Chris Gotterup has as many wins as Scotty Scheffler in the calendar year if you start today, 4 wins each. $14,000. Scotty has 4 runner-ups in the last about 8 events and a third and a fourth. Would I be surprised to see him win here? No, but he's not going to fit in my lineup again this week just with that price. I mean, you can go save yourself $4,700 by playing Chris Gotterup, who is going to be in the core 4 this week. So I'm not playing Scotty. Wouldn't be surprised to see him win. I'm just not playing him in DraftKings. Rory loves it here. Won here, has a lot of top 5s. I think he's a very interesting play. But I am going to start, my lineup in the 9K range regarding this range.
A lot of guys that we talk about on this show, Wild Man, are in the $9,000 range, starting with Fitzpatrick. Xander Schauffele, I think, is interestingly priced here, 9,800. Bones, DK, you were just talking about saving 4,000. I mean, the difference between Scheffler and Schauffele, I don't think is that great. Oberg, Fleetwood, we just talked about Gotterup. Wyndham Clark, 9,200. His trend is up. Hovland's in there, who just won recently. So a lot of good names in this $9,000 range. Anybody sticking out to you, Wild Man?
Yeah, you named them all, I think. I mean, we're riding trends right now, period. Fitzpatrick's the player of the year in 2026 right now. He's got 3 PGA Tour wins, has great history at the Renaissance Club. And by the way, if you're going back and looking at course history here, it's only been at this course since 2019. So anything prior to that, throw it away. And really probably anything more than 4 or 5 tournaments ago, throw it away. But yeah, Fitzpatrick's player of the year. You got Gotterup, you got Wyndham Clark. I was trying to talk myself out of Wyndham Clark earlier. I can't really do it, man. I mean, something's clearly happened with him over the last 6 weeks. Multiple wins, a major, a third, a fourth at a signature event, a 15th, making very few double bogeys, putter's hot. You kind of have to ride it until there's nothing left to ride, right? So I like Gotterup, Fitz, Wyndham Clark there.
All right, we're taking Gotterup as our first guy in the core 4. That's Bones DK core 4. As we move on to the $8,000 region, my boy, Tyrrell Hatton, 8,900. I like him a lot here. Another name that's interesting. I'll let you talk about whoever you want, Bones DK, but another name that I think is interesting, maybe a little overpriced, 8,400, Kitayama. He's got a nice little trend going for him also. Any of these guys in your core 4?
Yeah, Kitayama's having a pretty good year. I wouldn't mind playing him. I think his price is a little high. I'll say with this right now, 3 of the 4 guys in the core 4 could be in the 9K range. And though I'm not playing all 3 of these guys in the core 4, it's Goddard, Wyndham Clark, and Fitzpatrick. These 3 golfers are the best golfers on tour right now, next to Scotty Scheffler. You have to keep riding these waves with the prices right now. So currently, I don't have Wyndham Clark in the core 4. I have Goddard and Fitzpatrick. However, Wyndham Clark is probably a must play. I mean, you can't stop these trends. Wolfgoat's been doing it the whole time, just playing Wyndham Clark lately, and he's doing well. I mean, his course history is incredible here. 4 top 20s, including a couple of top 10s. Goddard is a former winner here, won last year. And then Fitzpatrick has a 4th and a couple of top 10s here as well. So I'm starting my lineup with Fitzpatrick, Goddard, and Wyndham Clark, and we'll get to the other guys in a minute.
What do you think, Wild Man, about Hatton this week? You know how much I love him. He always performs well at the majors. Doesn't get a lot of camera time, from the PGA. I know this isn't necessarily a PGA event, but doesn't get a lot of camera time or competitive time with these great fields, right? He's playing in Live Golf. So I guess there isn't a Live event this week if Hatton's here, but what do you think about Hatton? Not only anybody else in that $8,000 range.
Yeah, Hatton's. I mean, his 2 most recent appearances with PGA Tour affiliation are a 7th at the Masters and a 3rd at the U.S. Open. So he's obviously a European guy out of England, and he's trying to win his way back onto the PGA Tour now that Live is likely folding. Got good history at the Scottish Open, at the Renaissance Club in particular. So I like Tyrrell Hatton a lot. I think you can go down. You could make him potentially your top tier player if he top 5s it, right? Which he has a very good chance of doing. Kitayama was the runner up here, guys, at the Renaissance Club 3 years ago at the Scottish Open. Now his trend, I think he's on maybe the back end of the bell curve this year. He had those stretches of top 20s and top 10s. I think he's kind of fading away a little bit, but there's the gum chewer looking at you there too. And I won't I know you're going to bring this guy up next, Edge, but we'll leave it at that in the 8Ks.
So Bones DK has Goddard up at 9.3, Fitz at 9.9, Wyndham Clark at 9.2. Who does round out the core 4 for us today, Bones?
It's going to go back to our guy Tom Kim. We've been playing him lately. I love what he's been doing lately, and has some good finishes at this tournament. I think $7,600 is just too cheap for him. Again, rookie of the year, multi-time winner on tour. Tom Kim, $7,600. Keep riding the wave with him. Love what he's doing, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the top 10.
Yeah, so these next 3 guys, Wild Man, Koepka, my boy A. Fitz,
that's the guy,
and Christoph Raytan are all 8,797.9. I mean, that's a nice little core 3, if I can steal your bit there for a second, Bones DK. And then you're going to have a little left on the bone to maybe get somebody above that. What do you think of those 3 guys this week, Wild Man?
Yeah, I mean, Alex Fitzpatrick, that was the guy I was waiting for you to bring up, right? I didn't want to skip ahead, but how can you deny it? He's a European guy, again, English made, kind of making his debut in some of these big sanctioned events. I was talking to Bones DK off the air, and I'm like, the one thing I haven't seen out of Alex Fitzpatrick this year was that he's not really been in contention to win. He's just kind of lurking in that top 10 to top 25 range. And Bones DK's like, he's got 4 top 8s. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
So, you got the local flavor. You got his brother as a favorite here too. I mean, they're obviously going to go out and play some practice rounds together. They're probably going to talk strategy. Their caddies probably know one another. So yeah, it's getting almost impossible to ignore this guy, and just jam him in your lineup as a first click. Koepka, bite me. You know what I mean? That's pretty much all I have to say about that.
That's fair. What about Raytan?
Yeah, Raytan. I mean, Raytan again. He's
Please speak about Raytan. I need to hear what you have to say.
He's proven he can do it. Erling Haaland is becoming a global superstar. The Norwegian spice is here.
Yeah.
So give me Chris Rayton as well. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get your Rogue Warrior here in just one second. One other name juicy name I want to bounce off you right now, Bones, is Patrick Reed at 7,700. That is a bargain for our boy.
That is, I kind of just noticed him honestly when we were looking at this range. Patrick Reed. I said not to play him in the last couple of weeks. He did well, and then I say to play him, and he misses the cut. So I don't know what to say about him right now. He's a great
Give me
player.
your
I think
authentic feeling.
I
Give me
don't
your
like him.
authentic feeling.
I don't like him, and I'm not going to put my money on it. That's what it is.
All right. Dial them up, boys. We got the authentic
Yeah.
feeling right there. Bet the opposite.
Let me add this as well. You're not even going to believe this. He's leading the DP World Tour in points this year. He's leading the tour, the European Tour, Patrick Reed.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I'd say about Reed right now, too, is he's going to have a little bit more feel out there than probably he normally even does because he's been playing all these Euro courses,
Right.
you know?
He's
That's
got
just a
multiple wins.
Yeah,
He's got
just a
multiple wins and a
juicy
playoff
price.
loss. I mean, yeah.
Just a juicy price at 7,700. I haven't gone 6 for 6 in what seems like decades, but I'll tell you this, I'm putting Reed in my lineup this week. Wild man, maybe I'll put the Rogue Warrior in there as well. Who is it?
Let me see if I can sell you. Scottish-made guy. 4 for 6 here at the Renaissance Club. He shot 12 rounds under par. I just mentioned Reed is leading the DP World Tour. Rory's number 2. This guy's number 16 on the DP World Tour. Grew up just about 20 miles east of the Renaissance Club. The guy's name is Callum Hill, Scotsman. 2 top 25s here already. And lost in a playoff to Patrick Reed, actually, just about 2 months ago on the DP World Tour. Callum Hill, 6,700.
Callum Hill. That is a Scottish sounding name if I've ever heard one. Bones, I'll give you the opportunity before we get the first prop drop also. Any other names that you want to bring up real quick for the Genesis this weekend in Scotland?
I mean, there's one other guy, I'm building the lineup for the listeners right now. Wyndham Clark, Goddard, Fitzpatrick, Callum Hill, Tom Kim. Leaves you right on $7,300 on Brian Harman, major champion, British Open. Like what he's been doing lately. A couple top 20s. This guy shows up in moments like this. Tough courses can putt. Brian Harman, don't be surprised to see him in the top 10 this week.
Brian Harman is we talk about him every week, man. Brian Harman.
I can't help it. Hey, listen, we talk about Tom Hoagie a lot too. Look what he did. Dude, that Hoagie run, we were texting on the phone with Wolfgoat during it. And if he made the cut, he was going 5 or 6 because of Denny McCarthy. That was one of the sweetest, greatest runs I've ever been a part of, dude. I mean, he was like 1 under through 10 holes and shot 5 or 6 under on the final holes to make the 5 or 6 for Wolfgoat and get him in the Fantasy Golf World Championship. I mean, that he was 2% owned in that contest. That means 200 people, 2 people owned him. It was one other guy in Wolfgoat, which got him to the championship. I know he didn't top 10 like I told everyone he would, but he did pay off in DraftKings. So, it's fire up Harman, fire up Hoagie, our guys, English. This is a good week to do Harman and English together too. So, keep firing up the best PA guys.
We did talk about Hoagie last week, that he makes a lot of bogeys, but he's also a birdie machine, and he can go on those birdie streaks, and we love those in fantasy golf. All right, Wild Man, prop drop. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so we've already hit on this once. We hit on this a couple of weeks ago where Victor Hovland won. We had Scotty Scheffler top American at plus 300. We're going right back to that. I think I've kind of found a little bit of a loophole here, guys. Instead of betting these guys to win, because it's so dang hard to do, let's take Scotty Scheffler as the top American, okay, at plus 275 again to 300, wherever you can get him. Kind of cuts the field in half in a Euro event. And now you're just looking at a guy that can finish 5th and still convert your bet. And then we're going to go down. This price is a little bit scarier, but it's Rory McIlroy as the top Irishman at minus 190. Now you're going to have to lay some vig here, but that's what it takes, right? I mean, he's going up, guys. There's only 4 Irishmen in the tournament. One of them's Padraig Harrington, who's like 57 years old. So you really got, it's sort of a McIlroy versus Shane Lowry bet. You're gonna have to lay some big on -190, but I love it. Top Irishman, Scheffler, top American.
Love those. Do you have a prop drop, Bones DK? It's okay if you don't.
Brian Harman, first round leader.
Brian Harman with the first round
Yeah.
lead.
Yeah.
I love
By the way,
I love it.
I like
All right,
that
the core
too.
four.
Can I
Go
add
ahead.
this? Callum Hill, the Rogue Warrior, was the first round leader last year, believe it or not. So, I mean, he's been here before. I forgot to add that in.
All right, so we're taking Goddard up at 9-3, Fitzpatrick at 9-9, Wyndham Clark at 9-2, Tom Kim at 7-6, Callum Hill is our Rogue Warrior of the Week at 6-7, and we also like Brian Harman if you're fishing around for somebody to complete that lineup. We also like Brian Harman as the first round leader for the prop drop, Scheffler the top American, McIlroy is the top Irishman. Any final thoughts, Wild Man, about the Genesis this week?
No, I'm excited about it. 2 a.m. Eastern tee time. So you're going to wake up with your coffee, and hopefully none of your guys have ejected by the time you pour that hot cup of Joe. So just remember that. Get those lineups in Wednesday night.
It is absolutely my favorite 2 weeks of the year when you can roll out of bed, first, well, I guess for some of us, stay up late, and watch Open Championship golf because it comes on at, the hours between 3 and 8 a.m. I absolutely love it. Any final thoughts on the Genesis, Bones DK?
I mean, there's nothing like a sweat than waking up and like wondering where you are, and they're like, "Oh my God, is my lineup doing well?" And just praying that you don't see, Brian Harman +5 through 9 to start the tournament. So,
Right.
yeah, excited for this week. And again, shout out Zach, shout out Wolf Goat, unbelievable job, guys.
Hey, Wosop going on in Vegas right now, Wild Man, also.
Yeah.
And Ms. Rocky going for perhaps back-to-back World Series of Poker titles. Have you been paying attention to that at all?
I have. Negreanu just took down the 100K PLO for his 8th bracelet. Benny Glazer took down the PPC. Those are the only two storylines. Like Phil Ivey took 3rd, so there was some buzz around that too. But
did you see Phil Hellmuth and his entourage all wearing superhero costumes, making their entrance into the World Series of Poker?
You tell me all the time, all I do is hate. So I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say what I really want to say right now. But yeah, you just gotta kind of. He's just that guy. Like his ego is so out of this world. We can't even comprehend it. But he's 17-time bracelet winner.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a right to feel good about himself when he's in Las Vegas, and certainly in those arenas. Travis Kelce got married to Taylor Swift over the weekend. Also, Bones DK, are you surprised at the lack of media coverage that went on around the event?
I'm happy there's lack of media coverage. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think they wanted to make it private. It's like the no gift thing at parties. Like, yeah, don't, we're too good. We don't want gifts.
It was at Madison Square Garden.
It was at Madison Square Garden. They had over 1,000 guests, so I don't know how low key it actually was, but
couldn't care less.
By the way, Ed,
couldn't care less.
You're a trivia guy. Obviously, you've hosted probably 10,000 games in your life. The regular game I play in down here in St. Pete Beach, if there's a question asked about the Kardashians, anybody just has to say, "Who cares?" and you get the points for it.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about the Swift Kelce thing. Swift and Kelce got me. Who cares?
I don't care either. I'm just shocked that you haven't seen any. Maybe they're out there. I just haven't seen them. But you didn't see any pictures of her in her wedding dress. You didn't see anybody blasted on Instagram from the reception or anything like that. It just seemed like it was super under wraps. And that just seems like in 2026, something impossible to pull off, even if you are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I mean, she's got an endless bank account. She could pay security, any type of security she wants. And she's probably got status amongst the biggest celebrities in the world also. I mean, she is the biggest celebrity.
I mean, it wasn't like this was over in Monaco or something.
Right.
Madison Square Garden. And I didn't even know until you just mentioned it that they were married this weekend. I had no idea.
One final thing before we sign off the air. They're bringing Baywatch back to Fox. It's going to center around Mitch's now adult son, Hobie Buchanan. This can't possibly work, can it, Wildman?
Efron's in there. Zach Efron is in Baywatch, right?
He was in
Isn't
they made a movie, I believe, with The
Okay,
Rock
okay.
and Zac Efron. They're
Okay.
actually bringing there's a 12 episode series that Fox has ordered. Baywatch is one of my favorite shows ever
I mean,
written.
Pamela
I'm just
Anderson.
saying,
I
how
mean, come
can they
on.
live up? How can they live up to what has already been through the 290
Yeah.
episodes broadcast in 135 countries? How can they possibly live up to that?
Look, it's a phenomenal show, the original too. We talk about it all the time. I go to this beach bar every Thursday, and I get some wings and a couple drinks. And I've told you this before. They only have two TVs. It's a small bar. The one on the right always has original Baywatch episodes.
Hmm.
The one on the left has sports. I'll walk over to the right side of the bar and sit there and watch Baywatch for 2 hours. It's unbelievable.
If you have a Vizio smart TV, I believe on Vizio, if you can connect it to the internet, they have like a free, like couple free channels on there. And one of them, I know for a fact, is all Baywatch, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's one of those channels where you're scrolling through, and when you land on it, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna check this out for a few minutes. I'm not going anywhere, you know?
It's kind of like
So,
Friends. Friends is the same way, I feel like. You know.
Friends is a little
Oh,
too
well,
lame for me. But
Baywatch isn't.
I mean, Baywatch
Baywatch.
babes, man.
The
Baywatch
storyline.
babes.
I
What
mean,
else do you?
I'm watching it for
The
Buchanan.
storylines, they're
You know?
fantastic.
Yeah, and Mitch,
Guy driving his dirt bike on the boardwalk and like doing donuts, and then he's been drinking all afternoon and asks Hobie to get on
right.
the ride, and Hobie's like, I don't think so. And he floors his dirt bike off the pier into the ocean.
Yeah.
They have to go in and
Yeah,
get him.
right.
I mean, that's a great episode.
Right. They also tossed Buchanan off the back of a burning boat, tied up.
Yeah, tied up in a duffel bag, handcuffed, set him on fire, threw him into the Pacific. Now, spoiler alert, he lived. He lived to tell about
He
it.
did. He did. He was able to get to a.
You know what?
You know.
You've changed my mind. I'm actually now excited for the new Baywatch. I can't wait to see how Hobie Buchanan is doing. All right. The tournament this weekend is in Scotland. It is the Genesis. Got her up, won here last year. He's in the core four. Any other things you guys want to add, Wild Man, before we get out of here quickly?
I don't think so. Just really excited about the World Cup. Watching this all unfold here. I mean, it's magical, man. This is some of the best live sports.
The Egyptians just got one of the biggest screw jobs we've ever seen about an hour ago also. But Messi, what can you say about Messi? A lot to be excited about this weekend, Bones, right?
Yeah, I actually went to bet Egypt to qualify right before it started, and I got distracted at work, and I was going to throw a pretty hefty amount on it. And I'll tell you what, if they're up 2-0 and that happened to me, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. So I'm happy I got distracted. Some things happen for a reason, right?
That's exactly right. We'll leave it on that note. That's going to do it for us. For TW Man, Bones DK, my name is Edge. As always, thanks so much for listening. Until next time, good luck in Europe this week at the Genesis.